Hey guys, once again here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today I wanted to talk about an update to the passive for our boy AGL Nail, and we're going to do a bit of a showcase for him here on the Lord Slug team. Now his passive increase or his passive change doesn't really make much difference on the Slug team. I just wanted to show him off a bit on this team while we talk about him, because the thing that they've changed, you can check in the news. Basically, he has this part of his passive here: additional attack and defense 150%, and reduced damage received by 30% to 77%. The less HP remaining, the greater the reduction, when there is a Piccolo on the team or when there is another Namekian ally on the team. And then obviously he still has this part where he gives allies support when there is an ally whose name includes Piccolo on the team. So when it comes to the Lord Slug team, obviously it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference because there is already another Namekian ally on the team anyway. But they've made this change essentially so that any character whose name includes Piccolo will be able to activate his damage reduction part of his passive, which realistically is the most important part, right? So he's got 425k start of turn. Bear in mind as well that this Nail is not on Space Traveling Warriors or Terrifying Conquerors. Which means he only gets a 170 leader skill from Lord Slug, and that's his defense turn 1. Now obviously we are getting the support from Kid Buu as well, to be fair, but that is pretty good. So obviously, like I say, it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference on the Slug team. I just think Nail is a pretty good option for this team, which is why I wanted to do this for the video. But I just wanted to talk about the fact that he got his update and what this kind of means for other team building and stuff like that, because realistically, the funny thing is I feel like it's come like too late, right? Because we got the release of the Scout of Vegeta. I already made a video talking about how weird like his release was to have a unit of that sort of quality and then go into Lord Slug, and how ridiculously good he is. So do check that video out if you haven't seen it. But it's like Nail came out as part of this like NAMEK Saga celebration, right? Vegeta came out, and then we got the sub-EZAs for Nail and the STR Super Saiyan Goku. But Nail, obviously with his original EZA passive, he required a Namekian ally in order to get the damage reduction and the extra stats. And that was the only way that he could get it. And then we had the Part 2 LR come out, and the Part 2 LR obviously was the Exchange Gohan and Piccolo. And they are not on the Namekians category because of how the exchange units work, right? They're on all the categories that Gohan would be on, even though you do exchange into a solo Piccolo unit, which means that that unit on the build of the Planet Namek Saga team wouldn't have a Namekian character on it, or another Namekian character for Nail to activate his passive. So I talked about, like, back when, you know, we still didn't know who the Part 2 LR was going to be, I stupidly thought that Dokkan would have planned around, you know, planned things in advance so that things would actually make sense. And I figured that, oh, well, the Part 2 LR must be a Piccolo. Or it's like Nail exchanging into Piccolo or something, right? Because then if it was Nail exchanging into Piccolo, that character would be on the Namekians category because they're both on Namekians. It would be on all the categories that Nail is on. Because then Nail's EZA before the change would make sense, because he'd have a meta-relevant Namekians ally. That unit's name would also include Piccolo, so it would activate his full passive. But they didn't do that. They brought out Gohan exchange into Piccolo instead, and so his passive, he did not get that extra part of his passive on the Namek Saga team. And unfortunately, like, there was no meta-relevant Piccolo. So, yes, he turned 2. This guy's super attack, what, once on the previous turn? And he's got 837k defense here. We're on full health, so he's only got 30% damage reduction. But even 30% is pretty solid. So let's do this. I'm a little bit worried about Toa, but as long as she gets at least a dodge or 2 here, she should be okay. And, well, at least she doesn't get, as long as she doesn't get supered, I guess. So, yeah, they decided to make the change. I'm not really sure why. I don't know, like, often when these things happen, we've seen in the past, right, that feedback from the community, it's only happened a couple of times where players have been so disappointed, like, very openly, publicly, with, like, a unit's EZA or a unit's release or something like that, that the unit's actually been buffed, like, before they came out. And obviously we had the situation recently, I guess you could say, fairly recently, with Physical Rose, where he got buffed when he came out on JP, and then they kind of were like, oh, it was always meant to be this way all along, honest, because it had been left like that. It had been like that on Global since his release, and then obviously he got buffed on both versions, which is good, because he's much better now, but it's kind of funny that it took him coming out on JP in order for him to get fixed. But yeah, I don't know whether they decided to change this afterwards. Oh, nice. 800k. Okay. I don't know if they decided to change this afterwards because of the like community feedback, but it does seem like one of those strange things. You think they would plan this ahead, right? Like when somebody turned in I don't know how this all works, right? We make jokes and memes about how like things in the Dokkan office and stuff probably work. Let's just throw you on the team, because then Nail does give the support as well. We make jokes about how this stuff works behind the scenes all the time, but like surely somebody turned in the draft or whatever for of course we're not going to get Nail on the first turn now, are we? Someone turned in the draft for Nail's Easy A, right? With I don't know how much information every member of the team has, right? Like I guess they know it's a NAMEK Saga themed celebration, and they know that the headline is going to be Vegeta. Maybe they know already the banner unit's going to be Kui, and then it's like, yeah, Nail's getting an Easy A, off you go, like, design his Easy A. How did somebody turn in the finished sheet that was like, yeah, here we go, he gets a buff, but only if there's a another Namekian ally on the team? And yet nowhere in the brief, or whatever you want to call it, for the breakdown of the celebration, does it say anywhere that there's another Namekian unit coming out. And no one at any point thought, oh, hang on, who are we supposed to run on the team in order to get this part of his passive to actually activate? Because the part 2 LR isn't a Namekian. I mean, I guess maybe they knew Lord Slug was coming out next as well, and so they thought, I guess we'll just do another Namekian ally because then he'll be good on Lord Slug's team. But it just made him seem like a really weird fit for the celebration that he released in. And of course now his passive has been updated, and we're already, you know, we're out of the Vegeta NAMEK Saga celebration and into the Lord Slug celebration, where now his passive works on the newest Dokkan Fest team anyway. So realistically, his passive didn't actually need to be changed in order for him to be good on Slug's team. But now it has been updated, which means he can be much better on the Planet NAMEK Saga team if you have the Part 2 LR, Gohan and Piccolo. But the biggest problem really is that the NAMEK Saga team is still not very good. So it's a very interesting situation. Like I say, it almost feels like they gave this change too late, right? Like, this is something that I feel like the Part 2 LR should have come out. They see the backlash on social media where everybody's like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Like, Piccolo doesn't activate Nail's passive. And then immediately they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we need to fix this, and like push the update out straight away. Whereas instead it's out now, way after the NAMEK Saga celebration finished. In fact, let me get my list of videos up here. When did I put up the video for Nail's Easy A? Because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I put the video up on the day it came out or the day after, because so much stuff came out all at the same time at the start of that celebration. So when was the Nail showcase? I mean, I've already scrolled pretty far back and not seen it. There's the World Tournament Easy A's. It wasn't... Oh god, yeah, there's the Part 2 LR, so it was even before this. I've scrolled back way further than I thought I would have. And this is how long it took them to fix it. There we go. So I put out my video for his Easy A on the 9th of October. So almost a full month ago. And now he has the update when... Like I say, realistically, it's not like he needs the update anymore, right? So 753k on turn 2 here is pretty good. So let's go ahead and do this. Grab this for you, and then this for you. So yeah, it does call into question the thought process behind the original design of his Easy A what they knew in advance was coming in terms of the Part 2 LR and of course Lord Slug as the next release. Because like I say, like the person who designed his EZA, they might have known full well that Lord Slug was the next Dokkan Fest and not known what the Part 2 LR for the celebration was, but that makes very little sense that they'd know who the next celebration release was but not the unit that releases in the next part of the celebration that they're already in. So yeah, I mean, and of course we know from the anniversary Q&A from last year or the year before, whenever it was, that they plan, like the units get designed and everything fairly far in advance, and you would think the same applies to the EZAs. So it just genuinely brings into question the idea of like, how did his EZA end up releasing the way it was without anyone stopping to think like, hang on, this doesn't really work in like the meta that he's releasing in. But I mean, Dokkan's been doing some questionable things. It's a shame because like the 9th anniversary was great, like one of the best celebrations in the history of the game. Loads of stuff has come out this year that's been a W. Like the Saiyan Day Vegeta was a great unit. The Golden Week units were really good. Like the worldwide celebration was a little bit of a miss, I think, in terms of the overall content. I think most people fairly... Oh, damn, he's got 921k. I think most people sort of fairly agree with that in terms of the content, but the summonable units were all really good. And then it seems like the wheels have started to fall off a little bit. Like we've got Vegeta and his banner unit not very good. Pacing of some of the celebrations have been a bit strange. Then of course like Slug is really good, but Heroes dropping early, but confirmed as the final hero celebration, but with a very strange choice for like the lineup. Like all in all, it seems like what started off as probably one of the best years in Dokkan like recent history has been sort of mired a little bit by a few really weird like choices over the last like few weeks or so, which is a bit of a shame. And yeah, it is kind of funny to think, I didn't realize it was that long ago that Nail's EZA actually came out, and now it's finally been updated. And one of the big complaints about the Vegeta celebration and like the NAMEK Saga team like overall is that, you know, after that celebration was over, it's not like the NAMEK Saga team is now one of the best teams in the game. We got a new Dokkan Fest, a few EZAs, a Part 2 LR, like some of the EZAs obviously including LR EZAs, but that team is still not particularly great. Whereas then we get like the Slug celebration, and Slug's got a really good leader skill, his team is really good. Bojack being his EZA, which obviously goes live tomorrow, is really good for the team. A bunch of the new Heroes units and the Heroes EZAs are all on his team as well. So his team's really, really good. Whereas the NAMEK Saga team, still not very good. And even with Nail getting this update, it obviously makes it significantly better. He's now even better on that team than he was before. But that team's still not particularly good, which is, I think, a little bit of a disappointment. So very interesting that he did actually get the buff. Yeah, see, damn, this is my one now. 55%, and he's at 960k. Oh, no, it isn't. It's the friend one again. I got, I lost track of the turn, apparently. But still, that is insane. Almost 1 million defense start of turn. And then he's going to raise on his super attack. He has 66% damage reduction as well, by the way. So that's pretty good. I guess we can... Yeah, we'll just leave you here for now then. We'll do that. And then... You need 2 keys, so I guess we'll just do this. I was going to say we could save all these AGL orbs for Nail, but we probably kill him this turn now. Considering how hard Janemba can actually hit for. Nice. I don't know what I was going to say. I was mid-sentence saying something else, but I had a funny feeling he was going to dodge that. So GG's Janemba. Big crit. Love to see that. And then Rainbow Friend Slug. What have you got for us? What are you cooking up? Yeah, 22 million. Damn. It is still honestly just mind-blowing that we got Scout of Vegeta after the Worldwide and then this guy. And the difference between how good they are is just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, this guy's now at 1.28 defense, 1.2 million. That's ridiculous. Almost 3. My 55% one is at 652k, which is pretty nice. Do you have guard? You don't, do you? I can't remember. Does Nail have guard? Juice damage received. Yeah, no, he doesn't have guard, so slot 1's probably still a little bit risky for him. But once he gets another super off, he's going to be looking pretty good. Kid Buu could actually get nailed by a super here as well, to be fair. But yeah, with a Piccolo on the team, because we have the Piccolo Jr., and I did see a post saying that he does count. If he doesn't, let me know down below, but I think he does. Like, yeah, Nail is just really good on this Slug team, even without the Piccolo. So he's not giving support, but he's just a decent like defensive unit. I suppose realistically, if he's not giving support, like we're keeping him on main rotation here because the point of the video is about him. But I guess we probably wouldn't normally. And then if he's not giving support, there's potentially other options for the team, especially with the heroes, units, and EZAs coming out. But Nail, certainly a very, very good EZA. Funny to think, like, people wanted this guy to EZA for so long, and he actually got, like, a decent EZA, which is something that you don't see all the time, right? Like, EZAs that are long awaited often end up being, oof, damn, a bit on the disappointing side. Is he going to die? Oh. Clutching out those dodges, that's crazy. Okay. So, I guess we can do this. Do you get any extra defense now that you're... I don't think his actives... Now that his passive is fully built up, he doesn't get any stats on super, does he? So doing his active skill doesn't actually like increase his defense. So we'll just grab those. I mean, he's got nearly 1 million defense, so 5 STR orbs, basically giving us a full heal anyway. And then we can go ahead and do that. But yeah, Nail, very, very good EZA. I think, like I say, the passive update, it's cool that they did it, but it just seems a little bit out of place, all things considered, because we're past the NAMEK Saga celebration now. NAMEK Saga team did not get saved by that celebration, but at least now, you know, it's if you want to run the NAMEK Saga team, hopefully, you know, Namek, Goku, and Full Power Frieza will get an EZA sometime soon. Maybe they'll EZA the banner units at the same time, although that would be funny because then, of course, we would have a new Piccolo on the team. Although that Tech Piccolo was so bad on release, like his EZA would have to be... They really have to put in the work, right, to make his EZA good. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Nail, very, very good. The update, like I say, for the Slug team, it really doesn't make any difference because you're running him with a Namekian ally anyway. The Piccolo on the team, he gives support. That part was the same regardless. So, I mean, he's a very, very good unit for the team, but the update, I feel like, doesn't really make that huge of a difference. It really only affects the NAMEK Saga team, which is fine, except it should have been done way sooner after his release, so that the celebration that was literally themed around the NAMEK Saga would have actually had more, it would have had more of an impact in that situation, right? So we can... Nail's not going to be able to get a super attack here, which is awkward, but he's at 1.2 million defense start of turn. Slug, of course, has a scouter now because he's been hit enough times. So let's do the active skill for Slug. Surprise! I do love the I love the fact that with the skip on, that we still get that part of the active skill animation. That's great. So we'll get our Dokkan attack here with Nail, and then we'll kind of finish up the video here. But let me know what you guys think. I do think it's good that they updated his passive to make it make more sense with the NAMEK Saga team. It just seems strange that they kind of waited so long to do it. And now we're past the NAMEK Saga celebration. And of course, this new team that he's runnable on, the update doesn't really make any difference, and he would have been fine on this team regardless. So, eating the super attack from Gogeta pretty nicely there. He does get sealed though, unfortunately, and then still tanks the normals for double digits. I would say that is pretty good. So, we'll end it off here. I'm fairly sure, because of his post-super normal damage, that Piccolo Jr. might be about to take a massive L. But Nail, definitely a very, very good unit. Lord Slug, really good. Can't wait for all these buffs for his team tomorrow with the Bojack EZA, the Heroes EZAs, and then, of course, the new Heroes units when they come out next week. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out all the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.